Hey y'all, this is Ginginese, coach of the Texas Tornadus, here with Week 8 of the PAC YouTube Draft League. This week we're taking on Squid and the Lisbon Arcanines. I've actually faced Squid once in a side league a couple seasons ago. I won, but it was very close, so I'm really excited for this battle. He's got Terra Baxcalibur, Terra Scyther, and big threats like Kingambit and Gothitelle, so let me go ahead and show you what I'm bringing for the week. The first is Daggertooth, our Life Orb CHIEN-POW. This is very clearly my favorite set with 4 attacks. I Love Lamp, our Boots Moth with U-Turn and 3 more attacks. Fiery Dance Sludge Wave hits almost everything except the Quagsire that he's got, and obviously Energy Ball hits that. We've got Sandy Shocks, our booster special attack boosting Terra Fairy Sandy Shocks. Volt Switch is the only electric stab that we have, but between Flash Cannon, Earth Power, Terra Blast Fairy, we should be fine. Big Baby, our Eject Pack Tauros. We're bringing this back from week 1, but this time the Eject Pack is more to escape Gothitelle if it tries to trap us, although it would be good for momentum regardless. We've got Bibberdylel, our Toxic Orb Bronzong. Trick Lagging Tail worked really well a couple of weeks ago, so I wanted to try this. Lagging Tail wouldn't be as big as getting a Toxic off on something like Quag or Gothitelle if I get trapped. And finally, we have Bad Boney, our Eviolite Baby Crocolore with Roar and Yawn to prevent sweeps. I need to remember in battle that I shouldn't be yawning and then roaring, but I'll cut until we get into the battle. Alright, here we are for our battle against Squid. Let's see what he brought. Okay, cool. So we've got Sylveon, we got Quag, got Bax, Kingambit, Toxtricity, and Appletun. Okay, so no Scyther, which is good, and no Gothitelle, which is also good. Scyther instead of, what else did I think? Okay, Scyther, we get Sylveon instead. Sylveon I would expect to probably be defensive, but it could definitely be something crazy like Shadow Ball or Mystical Fire if it wanted to be, so let's put that in the calc. With this, I was always going to lead my Bronzong unless he brought Pyroar, and he's not bringing Pyroar. So I think turn 1 we trick this Toxic Orb. Yeah, I don't really have a good switch into Toxtricity. Yeah, I mean, we're going to go with this regardless. The Toxtricity is the only one that I'm really concerned about. I don't know if I just attack it to do damage because we can KO it with something else, or if I want to switch maybe into like my Crocolore. Probably not, because I think almost everything on my team gets KO'd. But anyway, good luck, have fun to our opponent. The last time I battled Squid was a really good battle, so let's see. Wax is Baxcalibur. I'm fully expecting a switch or a Terra here. If you if you sub on turn 1, I'll take the L. But getting rid of anything's item, giving it a Toxic Orb would be huge, and you gotta know that I could potentially body press. You maybe just Terra right away, and you do. Okay, what do we see for Terra? My guess was Fairy, but that doesn't really make sense in front of this. Just Terra Dragon, okay. That is scary, for sure. Gets rid of your weakness and Crunch. This should not KO. Wow, that did almost nothing. And the Trick. Okay, so we do see Crunch, though. And what do we get from you? You got the Toxic Orb. And we got Leftovers. Awesome. So we are now Leftovers. Toxic. We know you have Crunch. How much did we do, or how much did it do to us just then? We were at like 90 something, so it did about, we'll say 80-ish. That's obviously not Life Orb. We know it's Toxic Orb now. If that's the case, yeah, it's probably Adamant Max. I'm just going to go ahead and get up rocks. But this is huge. Getting Toxic on this, as well as getting up rocks right now, guaranteed. Just going to Crunch again, that's totally fine. Now that this has gotten up rocks and has tricked its Toxic Orb away, I don't think that we need it for anything. Like, it would have been nice for Sylveon, but we've taken too much damage. But we've gotten up what we wanted to get up. We've done what we wanted to do. And it's starting to take damage now, which is fantastic. Not that you're gonna switch, but I mean Body Press is gonna do the most regardless. And Glaive Rush. Okay, so we see Crunch and we see Glaive. And Bax gets the KO on our Bronzong. So we didn't get to see how much damage we would do, but I mean, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't just bring in CHIEN-POW. Even if this is, like, based on the damage that it was doing to me, to Bronzong, I don't think that there's any way it lives in Icicle Crash. And does anything want to take an Icicle Crash? Absolutely not. So we'll just do this. An Ice Shard is the only, like, priority that you could get, and it would not do very much to me at all. Like, King Gambit's probably the best thing to take this. And even then, it probably does not want to take this. So we'll just crash and hope we don't miss. You can easily switch into King Gambit here, but I will take any sort of chip that I can get on King Gambit. And, I mean, Crocalor is a pretty decent switch. Let's just see here. Curious what you do. Again, everything except the Gambit gets 2-hit KO'd. Do we see King Gambit? Telsin? I don't know what that is. It is the Gambit. Okay. So we crash and we miss. Oh god. Well, that could have been bad. Okay, if you are Choppleberry. Ooh. So if you're Chopple and max HP, you survive. I don't think I can sack CHIEN-POW this early to like a low kick or an Iron Head. Both of those do almost nothing to my Crocalor though, so I'm just going to switch into Croc. Would love to have gotten some damage off just to see what sort of set this guy is. We know he's not leftovers, which is great, but outside of that, like, we really don't know. We will get a lot of information probably from this next turn. And we didn't reveal any item, which is cool, because we didn't get a hit off. Sucker Punch, nothing, okay. So we do see Sucker from King. That's interesting that you would Sucker there, because my CHIEN-POW takes like nothing from Sucker Punch. Crocalor, I'm gonna yawn because I would expect you to switch here. What do you go into? Wayne, is that the Tox? Quag. Love me some Quag. So I yawn here, and then so this is a tough one. I would just expect you to get up Rocks. It is Leftovers Quag. Do we have that in our calc? I definitely expected Leftovers. Yeah. Lefties. So here's the thing. I would love to go Iron Moth here, but I really don't think that that's a good play, because you could very easily just Quake. My Crocalor is faster than Quag. I really don't take very much. I might switch in Chien again. Because even if you Earthquake, like, I'm not taking a ton of damage. I could... Yeah, this is risky, but it's not as risky as Moth. So let's just go for this. I totally expect you to go for Rocks here, though. Yeah, okay. So, Rocks. And we gotta also remember this is a sleep. Because I cannot go for Yawn again, or I get the insta-loss. So against Quag, CHIEN-POW, I mean, we 2-hit KO. What is our chance to 2-hit KO with Crunch? It's in our favor, but it's not great. I'm just going to crash. On the withdraw, can we get some damage into King Gambit here? Yep, great. I would have loved to have actually gone for the read there and gone for a Sacred Sword, but probably not worth it. Wow! Okay, that's... Oh, on a crit we do almost 50%. So, is that what I'm thinking? Yeah. I mean, I'll take the Sucker Punch from you here. If you're Life Orb, it's not doing very much. You do go for the Sucker. Oh, it doesn't do anything. And we get the KO. Okay, fantastic. So, King Gambit goes down. King Gambit's down. Baxcalibur is toxic. Quagsire's asleep. There's Toxtricity, Appletun, and Sylveon that have not come out yet. Milan. Okay, so the Tox. Now this is the biggest trouble for me, to be completely honest. However, a Sucker Punch... Okay, Sucker Punch with Stealth Rocks is an 87% chance to KO, according to my calc. I gave him just a little bit of bulk. I totally expect this to be Scarf. I really don't want to switch anything into that, so I'm just going to go ahead and set it. We do get the KO. Let's go. Okay, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. Toxtricity goes down. Now Baxcalibur probably dies. Quagsire hasn't taken any sleep turns. Sylveon doesn't want to come in and take this. Appletun drops unless it's Yachi Berry. So we're in a really, really good spot. And we can still save CHIEN-POW because it'll take 25% from rocks, but that's not enough for me to really worry. Yeah, getting rid of Tox is huge because Sylveon and Appletun are definitely not Scarf. The rest of my team is just so fast at this point. Honestly, I think that Iron Moth wins. Sludge Wave into Sylveon, into Appletun, Energy Ball into Quag, Sludge Wave into Baxcalibur. With the amount of chip that is gotten from the Toxic Orb and the amount of chip it'll take from Stealth Rocks again, I really think that my Iron Moth can just sweep at this point. So here's Wayne. So how much damage are we taking from Stealth Rocks? 25% of our 159 is what, like almost 40? And we're taking 15 from one thing. So I'm not sure that I even want to switch. We'll just crash until this dies. Now that we've identified that Iron Moth wins. Oh my goodness, a crit? Okay, well, while that may not have mattered, it matters in that I don't have to go for crash again, which is honestly huge. No reason not to just crunch. Oh, protect. I mean, that's a cool strat. Because if you had like an Ice Crash, Leftovers Recovery, a Protect, Leftovers Recovery, another Ice Crash might not kill. I don't know the exact calc on that, but I know that it was very, very close to kill with Leftovers without factoring in Protect. So that's really interesting. Here is that Baxcalibur, Ice Shard does... Ooh, it looks like this, unless it's a super low roll, does KO me, so I'm just going to Sucker Punch. You can Dragon Dance here, but... Oh, he'll die to the Toxic, which I guess is technically a KO for Bronzong, because it tricked a Toxic Orb. I'm not entirely sure where the credit goes there. But that's huge. So Quag is down. Baxcalibur is going to die to this toxic damage. It does. So it comes down to who do we want to take these KOs? Iron Moth or Sandy Shocks? I think Shocks might actually be the safer one. I don't know that that's true. Let's see. If we have Iron Moth into... Oh, Sylveon is just so bulky that it might not matter. Well, we can actually yawn for free now. So I think this is the safest play. What is Steris? The Appleton. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to go into Tauros, but I was worried about the Appleton coming out right now, and it does. We could just roar forever if we wanted to. Just to kind of get damage over and over until... Because if we get enough chip, then Iron Moth comes out and sweeps. And it prevents any weird setup. So I am just going to roar. Earthquake is good tech, but it's not going to do anything. I'm nearly max defense on Croc. And I can kind of just roar forever if I want to. Appleton, Earthquake. Are you Boots? You're not Boots. I bet the Appleton is probably like Impish Nature then. Let's see, Earthquake. I don't actually know how much damage it did to me. Although we can figure that out, right? Also, the Sylveon is leftovers. We got so much time. Let's just figure out how we guaranteed win this, right? So 188 divided by 4 is like just under 50. And then, so 40, about 50 damage or so. So yeah, the Appleton might not be fully defense invested, which is interesting to note. We can slack off here. Yeah, I'm unaware, so I don't really care. But I would like to see how much damage this does. Yeah, I know that this is really annoying, and I don't love doing it, but again, I want to make sure that we get the guaranteed win. The playoff race is really close, so we just got to make sure that we do what we got to do here to secure the win with as much differential as possible. Okay, so a Hyper Voice. Oh god, that doesn't do anything. Like 33. Yeah, looks like it's probably not special attack invested. So it's Calm Mind, Hyper Voice. We know that. CM, Hyper, Appleton, we know is Quake. We'll just keep roaring. You can Quake as much as you want. Ooh, that was a... Yeah, crit. Crit did about 70. An Earthquake crit. Yeah, so, I mean, probably not any attack investment. So this is still not quite enough for me. However, at this point, I think I can actually just Flamethrower over and over against the Sylveon. Because it's Calm Mind Hyper Voice, it's probably not sub. Yeah, Wish, that's fine. So what we'll do here is Flamethrower. We know it's leftovers. I'm gonna Yawn. Like, I would love to get knocked out here. Okay, so it is Psyshock. That's really good to know. That's the biggest thing that I was worried about, switching in Moth too soon. So I'll just slack off again. Because there is a way that I can absolutely still lose this. Like, I need to be very careful. I want to Flamethrower here to see how much damage we do against Appleton, to see if we can scout out how much damage I need to do. Yeah, maybe 10 or so. I hate playing this way at the end, but like, seriously, I need to make sure that I don't throw here, because with these two bulky mons, there is absolutely a way that I do not win. And I obviously would love to win, so let's see. I mean, if I get in Iron Moth, I can Sludge Wave and potentially kill both, but based on the amount of damage that Flamethrower did to these two, it's not a guaranteed kill. Like, I would love to get Crocalor in after it's done a little bit. I can also potentially switch in here. Let's see, into Sylveon. How much damage is Tauros doing with like a wave crash? I mean, a pretty good amount, right? So I think here is where I make the switch. We got off the yawn, so we might force a switch on this turn. Okay, we did. Perfect. And also because we know that Sylveon does not have Protect, unless it's max defense, which, I mean, it could be. It could definitely be max defense because of the Calm Mind situation, right? But I'm going to Wave Crash here. See how much damage we do. After Stealth Rocks and Leftovers recovery, there is a tiny chance to hit KO. I'm not sure that we do, though. Oh, it just goes for the Hyper Voice? Okay, we are actually in the position that we wanted to be in now. We can switch in Moth, and I think we get the win. That's exactly what we wanted to have happen. Because Moth 100% comes in, gets the KO with Sludge Wave on Sylveon, and then Appleton, Iron Moth, yeah, Sludge Wave, probably Okos. We haven't seen an item from it, so it could be like Kebia Berry, but if that's the case, then I switch in Sandy Shocks and Terra Fairy and we win. So that was a slightly trickier end game than I would have liked, but it looks like we are going to get a 3-0 here as Sylveon goes down. All that's left is the Apple, and again, barring something insane. Yeah, after Stealth Rocks, you need either Kebia Berry or a lot of Spadef investment for this to not KO. It is Kebia Berry. Earthquake will kill me, which is fine. So instead of a 3-0, it's now a 2-0. Again, not really important. What really mattered this week was getting a win over everything else. Getting a win. And that should almost guarantee me playoffs now. I would have to lose by a lot and a couple other people win by a lot for it to not be a playoff secure for me right now with this. Let's make sure we don't mess up. We get the Terra Blast Fairy, and that'll be the game. GG's to Squid. This, again, closer end game than I wanted it to be, but that's why I was playing around with Croc a little more than I maybe could have or should have. But I know that Squid had really good prep. Really, it was the rocks at the beginning, and also switching the Toxic Orb onto Baxcalibur was huge. If Bax gets Leftovers instead of the damage that it took from the Toxic, that game goes completely differently. Also, Yawn was huge on Quagsire. But GG's to Squid, another great game. Wish him the best of luck the rest of the season. We are essentially in playoffs now, and that's 2 years in a row. So could not be more excited for the rest of this season and how it's going to play out and how we potentially finish. But I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.